Hi, this is Randle, impromptly here in Michigan.
Woo-woo! I'm Matt. Happy to have Randle with me here in Michigan, so we can actually do one of these together. Two, yes. So today, Randle and I are actually going to be doing a viewer request today. It's the 2002 version of the Count of Monte Cristo. Now it stars Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, Richard Harris, Dagmara Dominchek, James Frain, Luis Guzman, and Henry Cavill is also in this film.
Baby Superman's in this movie.
Baby Witcher. Woo-woo! It's directed by Kevin Reynolds. He also directed Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I really like that one. And Waterworld.
I really like that one.
Now, before you go any further, if you like this kind of video, be sure to give us a like. Also, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell to get notified about when our latest videos come out.
In the Count of Monte Cristo, a young sailor has just been promoted to captain when his life gets turned upside down and he is falsely accused of murder and treason and purposely imprisoned. Turns out that he was betrayed by his long-time best friend, who then steals his would-be fiancée. After he escapes, he gets some gold and plots his revenge. This film has been made 3 times. It was made once in 1934, it was made in 1975, and it had a miniseries in the 90s. So it's very well liked. The story is very well known. This particular version of it had a budget of $35 million and came out about $75.4 million. It's based on the original novel, which came out in 1844, which is actually just serialized stories that came out in a newspaper of the time in good old France. This is my first time ever watching any Count of Monte Cristo.
Which I'm surprised about, but also mine first time
Never
too.
Seen it. What did you think about this viewer request?
I found it entertaining, especially for like a revenge flick. I think it's pretty good, and I think Jim Caviezel does a pretty good Charlton Heston impersonation, in my opinion.
If you're not familiar, he's referring to Ben-Hur, which we have a review on, so go check that review out. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's at its heart, it's a revenge flick.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't help but be constantly distracted. I thought this film came out in 2002, and all of the set pieces look like sets, even though they filmed a lot on location. And I'm like, wow, that prison looks like a set and doesn't look like it. Everything's super well lit. The prison's supposed to be dark and damp and dreary, and it's not. And that was very distracting from an otherwise amazing good story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the story is really, really fun and interesting, and I kept getting distracted by the fact that the film wasn't very well made.
Gotcha. The sets thing. Me too. When I was watching this movie, I was getting a lot of hints, a lot of other movies in this, and maybe, of course, they probably take beats from, Count of Monte Cristo. But at the beginning, when they're on like the island where Napoleon is, and like the
Elba,
and then the British soldiers are like going after him and stuff, and with the music playing, it's like, all right, so this is not supposed to be real serious. This is supposed to be kind of like, fun. Swashbuckler part.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this definitely feels like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of stuff. And then, when we get to like the prison scenes, so time I'm like, man, this feels like the beginning of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. But that makes sense. That makes sense now.
In the context.
In the context, like, yes, yeah, that would make sense and stuff too. And then, like I was hinting at earlier, kind of like the Ben-Hur a little bit with the revenge flick and stuff. And it's almost like Judah Ben-Hur, getting betrayed by his best friend, going off and stuff, and then coming back for revenge.
This is older than Ben-Hur, the story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too.
So
I think a lot of them are taken from the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably, for sure. I'll tell you what, though. Like, this is a textbook revenge story where the main character is betrayed by close friends, and he has real reason to be upset, and he has real reason to seek his revenge. But at the same time, the way this movie portrays him, I didn't feel sorry for him by the end. And I guess maybe that's probably the point, in all honesty. Revenge at any cost is not good. There has to be something that, like, brings it down. Like, yeah, if you want revenge against your best friend, that's fine, but revenge against your friend, and revenge against the woman that he ended up marrying, which was your fiance, revenge against his son, it's like revenge against everybody. I'm like, he lets it get out of control, and the character that's portrayed by Luis Jacobo tries to bring that to the front, like,
you have a fortune, a beautiful woman who loves you. Take the money, take the woman, and live your life. Stop this plan. Take what you have won.
You have all this money, you have all this pride, you have everything. You can take your fiance, your would-be wife, and leave and be happy. Just be happy.
Yep.
And he can't. He's like, no, I gotta get my revenge.
I like that they have that too throughout the film. I mean, we set that up kind of with like the priests and stuff. That he has, imprints with him. He says, "Hey, don't be consumed by this. Just take the money that I'm telling you now on my deathbed, where it is and stuff."
When you escape, use it for good. Only for good.
No, I will surely use it for my revenge.
That's the thing too. Like Luis, his whole thing is his character is basically like I'm protecting you, not necessarily going along with everything you say, but doing what I think is in your best interest, kind of thing. So it's good that he has that. Keeps saying like, "Hey, have all this money. You have the woman that you love and stuff. Go use it." But that's kind of interesting when it comes around to the end. I think he does kind of make that decision. That's when he's like, "Hey, just leave and stuff too." And when the battle at the end, I don't think is much about revenge then, as it's more like protecting what he has now when he comes back. So I think that's a good arc.
He's like, I'm now out of my revenge seeking. He's gonna let him go. He's like, just leave. I don't want any more of this. I now have the woman that I love. I've now discovered that this is actually my son, which is baby Superman. He's finally content. But it's the other character who's played by Guy Pearce who can't let it go, because that's the whole impetus for his betrayal.
Because you're the son of a clerk! And I'm not supposed to want to be you.
If you're happy, I have to kill you, basically.
And that's the thing, though, the woman they were both going for, too. She was telling him, like, I don't want to just be, like, your whistle. Because, you got a horse when you're a child, and Jim Caviezel's character got, a whistle. But he was more happy with the whistle than he was with the pony kind of things. I don't just want to be your whistle.
Yeah. So all of that revenge stuff, all of the main story stuff is really good. I like that. But I'm gonna get nitpicky now, honestly, because there are sections of this film that I had a lot of trouble with. In particular, I already pointed out, like, some of the sets in the prison and everything is just like really looks like a set. The beginning that you mentioned on Elba, it's so poorly done. They're climbing up the hills and the soldiers are falling down and backwards.
It's like, is it supposed to be funny? He like throws the pistol at the guy and hits him in the head.
Finally hit something.
Yeah.
But then, okay, you get to the prison, and this is my biggest argument: is he's there for 4 years before Richard Harris's character shows up. You see at least one more like anniversary gift from the keeper where he's getting whipped and beaten and everything. And then we were supposed to accept that he was there for 13 years. He doesn't look like a guy who's been in one of like the harshest prison, like a gulag for all. And he's getting one meal a day. His chamber pot gets not even emptied. They take it to empty it one time a day. Other than that, you're in solitary confinement, 24 hours a day for 4 years. And he should be way more malnourished. He should be like way. And I'm like, this film was made in 2002. This film came out 1 year before Pirates of the Caribbean. It does not look like that.
No, it doesn't.
This looks like a film out of the 90s. Like you said. So you kind of got vibes from Prince of Thieves. And I'm like, well, yeah, it looks exactly like Prince of Thieves, except for that came out in 1995 or something like that. So that bugged me, because then when he goes back to the mainland and he starts seeing all these people, and I'm like, yeah, he looks exactly like he did 13 years ago.
Yeah, I can't believe that no one recognizes him.
No one except for his long
I guess he's
love.
got a beard and stuff too. Well, even then, I don't know if she's like, you remind me of someone for a while. But I don't know if she even got it. But yeah, his best friend, who's known him for even longer and stuff, didn't even like recognize him, kind of thing. Yeah, that was something interesting too. But going back on the prison scene, I'm kind of joking about this, off camera or whatever, but man, they're doing all that digging and no one hears it. They're digging into all these cells, but there's no other prisoners
Well,
in
they're
these
digging
cells.
under these cells. And you know what, to be fair though, at that point most of those people would be crazy because I mean, have you named them yet?
That's 72,519 stones in my walls. I've counted them many times.
But have you named them yet?
I can be like get around the idea that like if you did hear it, you probably just think it's like rats or something,
Yeah.
or you just be like, oh, what's that? Because you've been imprisoned for however many years and you're probably just nuts in solitary confinement.
So there's a lot with this one that you kind of have to, kind of push away, too much critical thinking aside or whatever. But how about that big entrance by the Count of Monte Cristo or whatever with the big balloon and the acrobats or whatever, suspended underneath on the ropes and stuff to pull the balloon the rest of the way. What an entrance!
At that point in the film, I said, "This is ridiculous. This is so stupid."
It didn't make for a wow factor though, that's for sure.
I mean, and it would have. I mean, at the time when this is, purporting to take place, 19th century, yeah, that would have been just everything to the audience. But in the context of the film, you never see anything like that again. You don't see any of that outrageousness again. You only see it at that instance. And you don't see anything that points to the idea that that would be something that's acceptable in the society. I mean, I guess it's not. He's supposed to be a foreigner, Count, but like, nope. I thought, yeah, that's an entrance, but I really did. I just thought to myself, wow, that's just over the top and way, way too much. Way too much.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting about this film, at the beginning, we make a big deal out of Napoleon. It's because, the audience is going to know who Napoleon Bonaparte is.
For no other
stuff.
reason than that.
And it was kind of interesting with the letter and everything. I thought that was going to be like a bigger thing later on in the movie.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah,
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Just one thing he says, though, is all they took out is like you're either, pawns or kings or whatever. But we really don't see like Napoleon at all really play a role later. It's mainly just the point to, give something for him to get locked up for, and like a motive for one of the conspirators.
Well, later when he's going through everything with Richard Harris's character, he's just like, oh, he burned it, did he? And like Harris's character is so on point and so genius. He's like, I know why he burned it, but I'm going to watch you suffer while you figure it out.
And I think what's good about that, it kind of shows Caviezel's character's like growth, our main character's growth kind of thing. He's shown as like kind of naive and stuff, and that's the thing when he goes into, I don't know what you want to say,
he's
not
naive.
judge or whatever, but he's just kind of like, oh, you of course you're innocent, kind of thing, because he is. He's just kind of, no, Napoleon gave me this, and he told me to do this kind of thing. And then you definitely see that he is not the same person out of prison and stuff. Yeah. That might be part of the reason that he didn't recognize him, but yeah, to me it didn't make much sense why his best friend wouldn't recognize him.
It all makes sense if you think about it from the context of how much time the story is supposed to take place over. I just didn't like the film's version of this.
Yep.
Because they could have the script could have been better. They could have went to more lengths to actually portray time passages for the characters. They could have aged them much more dramatically, especially our Count here, because he's really the one who should look different, who should be different, and would be in real life. The film is portraying everything as just bright, beautiful colors and everything, and in reality, 19th century was, I mean, not necessarily dark and dim like medieval times, but wasn't bright and clean and all that.
I want to say one thing I think they did well: the casting with baby Superman.
Aww.
Like, kind of, they're saying like, all right, he's like Guy Pearce's son, but I'm like, you know what? he looks
He
more
looks
like
a
Jim
lot more
Caviezel.
like
so,
Jim
so in that sense, I think they did a really good job, with Henry Cavill, casting him as the son. Because I think, visually, that definitely makes it work and makes the audience kind of connect the dots beforehand.
I will give while we're talking about characters and actors, Guy Pearce some major chops here. He's probably the standout of the film, and that's not saying anything against everyone else. Just that his character is so detestable, like incredibly terrible person. He makes terrible decisions. He does bad things. He knows it. He cheats on his prize bride. He's just a bad guy, And Guy Pearce brings that across very, very well.
Yeah.
So that was good. The characters were good. Everyone does a pretty good job, and Henry Cavill honestly does a great job as a just trying to prove himself to his would-be father who doesn't care about him. Like all of that works well.
Yeah.
The characterizations are fine. One day I might actually read the book.
Yeah. It's darn on us for not reading the book. We really should.
Because I'm sure it's better.
Yeah, I'm sure it's better
it has
too.
so much more context, so many more clues. But if I had to leave on one last thing, it's that the idea of this revenge flick didn't work particularly well for me. Because I think of revenge and I think Ocean's 11 or something like that. Where half of the fun of watching a revenge movie, regardless of what it is watching them plan everything. So that way, when things fall apart, when the plan maybe doesn't go exactly as they expect it to, the audience knows. So we didn't get to see him plan very much. It's just like, I have a plan, and you see a little bit here and a little bit there, but you don't get to see his plan. You only get to see his plan unfold.
Yeah, I would say I was hoping a little bit when I was watching the film that like the revenge stuff was more elaborate and more of a thing. I think it's pretty straightforward, I think, for the most part. Like, stuff just kind of like happens, like, all right, here, we set up this one kind of like catch, some of the, co-conspirators by, having this fake money transport where really the gold is never in any danger because we've already made our connections and stuff, which he likes to use those same pirates over and over again for us game, but
it's good to have friends.
It is good to have friends. It is to have friends too. Oh, maybe I guess I would like it a little bit more. I don't know exactly what I would say I would need to make it a little bit better, but I guess I would like some of the plans like a little bit more than just kind of like
more
this,
fleshed out.
More fleshed out than this kind of gotcha.
Just all in all, more fleshed out.
Yep.
Seriously, that's the biggest problem with the film for me. Is I want it to live up to its story. The story's so good and the characters are so good. I want every single part of it fleshed out. This is probably a fantastic candidate for like a 3-hour movie instead of having to be 2 hours, just over 2 hours. And like, it needed a little bit more to grow and probably maybe a little bit more inventive art department, I guess.
Well, with how many times this has been remade, and I think this probably will be remade again, we maybe just have to wait, 10 years or so, and then we'll see another version of this film.
Why don't they just cast Henry Cavill?
Yes! That would be awesome. I would be down for that. Hey, here's a little wink nod to fans of the 2002 one. Yeah. But in general, yeah, as revenge fic, it's entertaining, even though with some flaws and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm super happy that I finally watched it. Thank you for actually recommending it, because it was a good movie to take it back that we haven't done in a while. Just kind of revenge, supposedly fun, I guess. I don't know why this is supposed to be fun. I don't really get it, but
some parts are fun. Oh, that's the thing. It's kind of a different throughout the film. Different feel and stuff.
Definitely like it. But hey, if you like this review and you want to see more, we have lots of reviews on our YouTube page. Make sure to check those out. We have other flashback reviews. We watch new movies. We got some series reviews up, and we do some deeper discussions with our call-up episodes. Make sure to check those out.
We also have a Facebook page. We will always post a day before our videos come out to let you know what the next topic's going to be. Our new videos come out every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Matt, here in Michigan. Have a good day.
And I'm Randle, also here in Michigan today. See everyone next time.
Next time on No Market Media. please consider checking out some of our other videos.